I'm here with Joe Rotella, and we are about to melt glass.
In the microwave. It is so cool. I love it. It's so exciting. Now, to get started, you're going to need some basic supplies. So we're going to need a microwave kiln, and then this gets incredibly hot. So we're going to need oven. These are more than oven safe. These are
going to say, don't burn me.
Inferno safe gloves. And then we have an assortment of glass, and all this glass has the same COE, C-O-E. We'll talk about that a little bit too.
Okay, because I have no idea what that is.
I'm telling you, I'm going to teach you.
Okay, excellent.
And a glass cutter and kiln paper. So that's all we need.
Okay, I don't know what kiln paper is either, but I'm ready to learn.
Go. So this is our microwave kiln. It's made of a special material that concentrates the microwaves. Inside here will get up to 14 to 1600 degrees.
Wow. Now it looks like styrofoam to me, but obviously it's not made out of styrofoam.
I think it's from space. I don't know how they can do this. It's so cool. Now, you'll notice the kiln lid sits flush here.
I have to tell you, I've done glass fusing before, and the kilns I've worked with have been, I mean, enormously large. So this is like
microwave size.
Yeah, they made it tiny.
So we're going to put our piece here, and we want to put a piece of kiln paper first. So if you could cut me a piece of kiln paper, it's going to have to fit inside this circle. We don't want it to overhang the circle at all. And this kiln paper is a consumable. We only use it once.
Is that too big? Is it hanging off the edges?
I think we're going to be great. Now we get to stack up the glass. So do you want to choose?
What happens if it hangs off the edges?
Well, it's going to interfere with where the lid sits down.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes sense to me. Because the lid actually doesn't go here. It goes on the inside circle.
This will recess inside
I see. I didn't get that. Okay, cool.
So now we're going to pick out some glass. What would you like as your first layer?
Okay, so this will be the thing that's at the bottom that you'll see the least.
The least.
Okay, then I would like to start with maybe a darker color. Like, can I start with this black at the bottom?
And let's see if it fits. We want to have about 5/8 of an inch all the way around the edge, and that's going to work just fine. It's inside the kiln paper. If it touches the sides of the lid, it could fuse to the lid. We don't want that to happen.
So I have a question. If my background is black, does that mean, like, if I were to put this shiny piece on top of it and it melts to it, that it's not going to be as shiny because the black is taking the light away?
No, it'll be pretty cool. That's dichroic glass, which means the light hits it in 2 different ways, and that's why it has that iridescent color.
I know, because it's so shiny.
So do you want to put another layer on top, or do you want to put the dichroic?
Oh, no.
And we have little bits and pieces
here. I was going to say,
here.
and I love these ones that are cut into circles. So these are obviously translucent, as opposed to some of these things that are more opaque,
Now, we need it to fit on your black square, so we're going to have to do some cutting.
Figure that out. This is, oh my God, my brain is exploding.
And we also have, check this out, this is Millefiori. That's Italian, Millefiori.
Well, I was going to say, Millefiori, I remember from doing polymer clay, where you make the big rolls, or the canes.
It started with glass in the 1850s.
Can I do that? Is that allowed? No,
that
it's hanging over too much.
It's hanging over. So let's do a little trim. I'm going to take this red piece, and I'm not going to really be precise here. I'm just going to use my
Precision's overrated anyway.
Tool, right? So we can cut a score. Now, if it looks like salt, you've scored too deep.
Okay.
It should just look like a hair on the glass, and then I can use this tool and snap it.
I was going to say, use your safety glasses and be very careful. I should have my safety. Now, my
score wasn't great, but that'll give you a funky little shape.
I like a jagged edge.
It's going to be a funky little shape. And I'm going to do the same thing on this. I'm just going to cut a piece so that we can fit this all on our black.
Now, I have another question, which is, does everything have to be level? Like, if I put this on here and it's not actually touching anything underneath, is that going to cause some chaos?
I think you'll be fine. What's interesting about this particular glass is that it wants to always be, the finished product, 1/4 of an inch thick. So if you do an 1/8 of an inch thick piece and then you fuse it, it'll probably shrink to become 1/4 of an inch.
Okay. Well, I can live with this composition right now. I think this is pretty cool.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do is put the lid on. This is the hard part.
Okay.
Is you don't want anything to move.
Very carefully over to the microwave.
Now, you want to be sure whatever microwave you put this in, that it should have a turntable. Otherwise, you have to put a mat under it. And you need at least 3-inch clearance from the top to the top of your microwave.
So you have a pretty big microwave.
And I'm going to do this. You want to do the first 3 minutes at 70% power.
No matter your microwave, you always do it at 70% power.
70% for the first 3 minutes. So we're almost done. We're at 20 seconds. Now this is going to be very hot. So we want to put our heat-resistant gloves on. And what we're going to do is check it. Now I doubt it's ready. 3 minutes at 70% is typically not enough, but it's still worth giving it a little peek.
So I assume it's better to under-bake it and have to go again than to overdo it.
Absolutely. You always want to start at a base and then keep adding. So we're going to just open the microwave. And you don't want to take the whole thing out. All I'm doing is tilting the lid a little bit. And I don't see any red color or anything. The paper has started to turn black. Now we can go typically 30 seconds or a minute more at high power. I'm going to do a minute intervals because I've already tested this microwave. And you want to keep a log for different glass, different microwaves, so that you always have a guide and you're learning each time and you can refer back. This thick took this long, this thick took that long.
So when you take it out, what are some things we have to think about?
Well, we want to make sure that we have a nice place for it to cool where no one's going to touch it, and a big thick hot pad. I have a piece of cork. Do not let it cool in the microwave. It'll damage your microwave. It has to come out. Once it comes out, do not open the lid because the drastic temperature change from the room to 1600 degrees will crack the glass.
Okay.
So we have to leave the lid on, although it's so tempting. We can't look until it's cool about an hour later. So let's see where we are now. This is 5 minutes total.
So you're checking it, but you're not actually taking
the lid
off.
Oh, look, we're starting to get a bright red. But it's not smooth. I think we're going to need another minute. So we're almost done. It should be bright red, which is somewhere around 1400 degrees. And let's peek. Can you see it? Oh, we're all the way up to a yellow orange.
Open the door a little bit more.
So I got to get that lid right back on. Very, very hot. Notice, again, we're cooling it outside the microwave. And if we look in that hole,
space around
it's bright
it,
red.
And that's all we can do.
Now that has to cool for at least an hour without you peeking.
Oh man, I want to peek. I want to peek.
But look at our finished piece that I did earlier today. It's still sitting on the kiln paper. You just peel it off, and there's any extra here, it'll just wipe off with water. This was green glass stacked with purple, and then a piece of millefiori, and then some frit.
That's so awesome. And if we look at all of these finished, beautiful samples that you brought, I mean, fused glass is an amazing and beautiful technique, and you normally need an enormous kiln. This has been so cool. I'm really excited to see my microwave with new eyes.
And tomorrow we get to see what that looks like.
That's really cool. Thanks so much, Joe.